Hey, Donna fans, you're tuned in to the Afterbuzz TV After Show for Ray Donovan, Season 4, Episode 10, Lake Hollywood. Join us as we break down the episode and give you our thoughts and predictions. Let's go!
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, Afterbuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin!
Let's go, everybody. Welcome on in to the Afterbuzz TV After Show for Ray Donovan. Season 4, Episode 10. 2 episodes left, guys. It's sad, but it's exciting. We've got a great episode to break down for you. I am your lead host, Frank Maiorana. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Let's Go Frank M. I'm joined by McCall Hall.
What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, McCall Hall. You can find me on social media when sports and pop culture collide at McCall Hall.
And the other half of the black-wearing twins tonight, it's Olivia Gabaree.
What's up, guys? You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @thereal_O_G.
And you can reach out to us on social media using that hashtag ABTV Ray Donovan on Twitter, on Instagram, or commenting directly on our YouTube page, which is like how we like to start every show with our social media shout-outs. So, Olivia, I had assigned you the YouTube comments for tonight. So, what did you see out there?
Okay, so our first comment is from Nicholas Archie. He says, I gotta say, this is my favorite show on TV right now. It's so beautifully written with so many layers to it. Keeps you guessing and on your toes.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. Especially with this week's episode, we had a few surprises coming our way. So
yeah, I feel like especially as the season is winding down, things are just getting more messy
and gruesome.
Yeah, crazy.
True.
I mean, it's all happening very quickly here as we're running out of time, but I love that it's getting to that area. So a good comment out there.
And we got another comment from Catherine White. She says, I think Avi's comment that Lena is tougher than Avi and Ray together is a foreshadow of things to come. My prediction is Avi won't make it, which will give us
Whatever.
Lena unleashed. This series feels like a Donovan family reset where everybody appears at home with their place in the world.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we'll save that for our predictions.
I really
section.
don't. Let's hope Avi doesn't go, okay? I mean, can we all agree on that? We really want Avi to stay. McCall?
Well, my prediction about Marisol came true. Kind of, sort of.
Okay.
So I don't want to wish the same on Avi because I kind of like the guy. So I don't want to see him end up in a box.
No
I know,
way.
me neither. But, we did... Well, we'll save that for later.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so we also got a comment from What FC. Says, didn't Bunchy already have a couple of $1 million? Did I forget him losing it at the beginning of the season? I couldn't figure out why he and Teresa were living at the gym.
Well, no, I mean, now they have the $1 million.
Yeah.
They have the $4 million, which is what they received from Mickey going wild out in Prim. So.
That was... We'll continue.
Yeah, I don't remember Bunchy coming up on some money, but I don't know.
And they're referring to this season?
They said, well, he or she couldn't figure out why in the beginning of the season he and Teresa were living at the gym because he thought he already had some money, but I don't remember that, so I don't know. And our last comment is from Ken Bennett. He says, we learned in the previous episode that Teresa's problems didn't begin with her pregnancy. It sounds like she suffers from bipolar disorder, which involves cycles of highs and lows, manic and depressive. She and Bunchy are far from out of the woods. It amazes me how the show takes on so many thorny and misunderstood issues at once.
Yeah, I really like that. That sums up the issues that, Teresa's got going on in a nice little nutshell and putting it in perspective with the bipolar disorder, with, a lot of feminine issues that have come to the front of this season of Ray Donovan. It's been really unique. In TV and for this show to see the issues that they've been tackling here. So, issues with real weight to them.
Absolutely.
Anything else you guys want to add to that comment?
Every issue that has come up this season, in my opinion, affects at least 2 to 3 people.
Yeah.
You can't make a decision based on yourself. Everything that happens or any decision that is made affects tons of folks.
Mm-hmm. And it has ripple effects for all the other characters within the story. And we saw a big ripple with this episode with Marisol getting killed by Hector, which is the big big shocker of this episode, and we had predicted a couple weeks ago that she would throw herself off the stadium of Hector's boxing match.
I told you, I said, she's got to go.
Yeah,
she knows too much. She has to go. I didn't think it was going to end like this, but I knew she had to go.
Yeah, I was stunned, and I kind of felt it coming maybe 10 seconds before it happened. The way he was looking at her, because he wasn't quite kissing her back when she was kissing him. He was kind of just standing back looking at her.
Yeah.
And had a strange, it wasn't passion in his eyes, it wasn't desire, it was something else.
You saw like not a twinkle, a killer's twinkle, but
The
you saw
murderous
some
twinkle.
Yeah, you saw it in his eyes.
I think that's probably the best way to put it, like a killer's twinkle, like I'm about to kill you right now.
Yeah, because they say before somebody snaps and kills somebody, there is a twinkle in their eye.
Really?
I didn't see
says
it.
that?
I've heard that. I didn't see it personally, but I was shocked.
You were shocked in that moment. Did you sense it coming, Olivia?
I think I was shocked in that moment, but in the overall like vibe of the whole season, I could see him killing her. You know, he had enough of her. She had to go, obviously. But in that moment, I was mad. I was like, why are you giving in? Like, go home. What are you doing? Yeah. But obviously, he had something to take care of.
To piggyback off what you were saying, I, in hindsight, kind of understand why he did it. Because he lost his daughter.
Now, I'm not saying he should have killed her, but I understand.
I understand. Because understand how much frustration he was feeling in that moment. He lost his daughter, you know, that whole situation. He was just feeling a lot of anger. You know, I don't condone killing.
Well, let me ask you, did you feel that it was pre-planned, as if Hector was going over to that house, knowing that he was ready to end his problems?
I don't think he could have planned drowning her.
Right.
Because if he were smart, that wasn't the way to go.
Well, when you know Ray, I mean, it actually could be a smart way to go. I mean, it's easily staged. She drowned herself, you know, along those lines. He's there, and who's the only person to see him? Terry. There's nobody else there. There's no security.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to what you thought about whether or not he planned it or not. But I agree with you. I don't think he planned it. I think... And I loved seeing in this episode the real repercussions of this news coming out of Marisol and Hector hooking up, because we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like, it just kind of felt like a breakup.
Yeah.
You chill with your boys, you have some drinks, and you get over it. But this episode, we saw Hector's wife come to the Fight Club, say, I'm taking the daughter, I'm going to Montreal. And that was a real repercussion and a real door closing. So... he goes to Marisol quite naturally when he says, I'll be gone for an hour. We all know where he's going. Olivia, did you think there was something bad coming for Marisol? Did you think he planned it?
I mean...
in hindsight?
Now seeing it, like seeing how all this unfolded, I do think that he planned to kill her, because he was kind of just like, I'll be back in an hour. Like, he went there knowing what was up, like what he wanted to do, and obviously... he was feeling some type of way, like he was very angry because the thing with his daughter had just happened. Yeah. So I do think that he planned to kill her, but obviously he didn't know that she was gonna like draw a bath and all this nonsense. So it just kind of set itself up.
But an hour to kill somebody?
I don't know.
See, I don't think he knew he was gonna kill her. I think he went over there looking for a fight, or you know, somebody to take his anger out on,
to be a human punching bag.
But you know, she's sort of seducing him, and there's a part of him that still kind of wants it, and you know, I think it's 50-50 for him until that moment when he sees the tub, he senses the opportunity, and yeah, when it's not like they're passionately making out or really leading towards sex. He's sort of like just withdrawn, like he's there, but he's a step behind his eyes, and he's seeing this happen while not really being in it. And then, yeah, when he just stares at her when she was going to, like, draw the bath, I said, oh, man, something is about to happen right here. So when he killed her, and it was a brutal scene to watch. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like breathing all the time when those scenes are happening, because I'm like, okay, I still have breath in my lungs. Like, I'm not drowning right now. Let me ask it this way. Are you glad she's gone, or did you feel slightly bad for her that she was killed?
McCall, how'd you feel?
I don't think anybody should lose their life like that.
Okay.
I mean, my biggest fear, I was telling you guys off camera, I can't swim. So like for me, the idea of losing my life because I am now being controlled by this water that's going into my lungs is just too much for me. I wish he would have just shot her in the head. I agree that she needed to go. I just don't think she deserved to drown like that. That is just horrific.
It's pretty. I do think that that's pretty brutal. But then, it, like I said, it kind of set itself up. That was his. That it was just caught up in the moment.
She's obviously she was obviously doing too many drugs. If I had been her, I would have never met up with Hector anywhere where he could harm me. We'd only meet in public. We'd only do it in like McDonald's bathrooms. Like I'd set him up so where he could never hurt me. She set herself up.
Yeah, she's clearly drug addled and wants Hector to meet her at her level. And I think for me, as much as I wanted to see her go permanently, to watch her drown like that I felt bad for her. And there are certain characters that if it's done right, even the most brutal character, if you watch Game of Thrones, when Joffrey dies and his mom is holding him, this guy is the most wicked little POS, but when he dies, he's choking and his mom is looking at him, watching him die, and it's hard to not feel empathy for that person while it's happening. So I agree with you. I mean, drowning sounds like one of the worst ways to die.
I agree.
And, especially when someone you thought loved you is doing it to you. Yeah. So she's dying with that knowledge.
Do you think that she could have changed her ways?
I didn't see any evidence of that, being the truth. She just acted out over and over again. I'm sure you feel the same way.
I do. I feel like, maybe some people said that wasn't right. She could have changed her ways, or she could have moved, or had a fresh start. But I think she was too far gone.
Well, she had the resources and like the means and the opportunity to change. She just didn't want to change. So if you can't help someone that doesn't want to help themselves,
that is true. And Hector tried to give her money to go to rehab, to send her away. It seems like the Team Campos as a whole made an effort to try and help her and move her past her problems. Daryl driving her around. There's so much that the Donovan family tried to do to get her past her issues, and she never got there. She was betting that Hector would come back to her eventually, and he did, but not in the way that she thought.
it's not funny.
So Hector is broken up. Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Choking somebody to death
is
hilarious.
So Ray shows up, and after Terry, who is so kind-hearted that he believes that...
I'm like, Terry,
you are so thick right now.
Yeah. So, it's just... Maybe he just wants to believe it. I don't know. But he calls Ray, gets Ray over there, and Ray initially says, no, I'm not going to help you. And then he comes back later. I don't know what changed his mind to make him fix this situation. What do you guys think? What made Ray change his mind from saying, no, I'm not going to help you at all, to coming back, staging the whole thing as a suicide?
I think he has something up his sleeve. I think he's going to benefit from this situation somehow.
Okay.
I don't know how, but I think
so
he's
you
going to
think
benefit from it.
It's a play for down the road?
Yes.
Okay, McCall, what do you think?
I thought it was for Terry.
Okay, why do you say that?
Because, Terry needs Hector to do well for his own professional benefit. And had Ray just let Hector lay out there, I mean, eventually somebody's going to figure out there's a dead woman in here. It's going to get traced back to Hector. So that's the end of Terry's little comeback. And I think Ray knows that. I think he knows that. I think it was for Terry.
That's a great point. And that may be the truth of it all. Like, Terry needs this.
He needs it.
And he's got a good thing going. If he can get Hector into the ring and be his trainer and be fully a part of Team Campos, I think that's really going to help increase his, his confidence and his standing in life.
Yeah.
I totally agree with what you said there. I think that's
it's
really
more
good.
About Terry, but...
Yeah. And can I ask you guys, what was up with the photo? When he took the picture of Hector in front of Marisol, what was that?
To scare him.
To scare who?
To scare Hector. Understand. Now, Ray is playing with his head, because after Hector said, help me, he said, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
He's letting him know, you're not going to tell me what to do. We keep covering for your ass. We'll do it on our time.
Yeah.
And if I feel like it, and that taking that picture is saying, I have proof that you did this.
Yeah, that's what I thought was too.
But
so
then
if you try to flex on us, I'll expose you. I own you now.
But was
That's what
that
it
on
was.
his phone or on Marisol's phone? Because he put the phone in the plastic bag after he took the photo.
I believe it was on Ray's phone.
Okay.
And you're right, because Ray texts later from that phone that says, I'm sorry, I love you, pretending to be Marisol to, staged the suicide. So it's like
Okay.
a suicide suicide text. Like, I'm sorry, I love you. But I don't believe that was on her phone. I believe
Okay.
he took a picture on his phone
Just
I was
for
wondering about that
proof.
too.
for blackmail purposes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was for blackmail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let us know what you guys think out there. Use that hashtag ABTV Ray Donovan. Let us know what you think of Ray's motivations were there. There was a really good interview in The Hollywood Reporter by Amber Dowling. The headline of the story is called Ray Donovan Star on Tragic and Taboo Storyline. And this was a interview with Lisa Bonet. And she said a couple cool things in here about her experience on Ray Donovan that I wanted to point out. The writer for this story is Amber Dowling, and I want to give her credit for that. So I'll be sure to check this out. But a couple snippets. A question to Lisa Bonet was, did you do any specific research to dig into this role? And she said, I did some research when I auditioned, which I had to do, which I thought was kind of amazing that Lisa Bonet still has to audition. I didn't feel comfortable at all just winging it, so most of my research was done during the process of auditioning and really wanting to portray an addict with authenticity and feel genuine in my portrayal. So I was shocked that she had to audition. I mean, this is a career actor, with a long history and tons of credits, and she's still out there auditioning.
I just thought somebody called her up like, hey, you want to do Ray Donovan?
Yeah. That's normally how it happens for people out there who don't know the industry. When you get to a certain level as an actor, you become what's called meeting only, and you are offered a role after your meeting with the creative team, and sometimes once you get to that A-list level, you just get offers for roles. You don't even have to go to the meeting. So I would have certainly thought that Lisa Bonet is one of those people, but apparently not. But respect to her for going out and getting the role.
Yeah, for sure.
A season-long arc on Ray Donovan, one of the best shows on TV, is a really cool thing. So I can understand why she went for it. And then the other question that I really liked the answer was, what was it like to film the bathtub scene? Were there safety measures in place? And she said it was very wet. 4 dresses later, I was very wet and very irritated, to be quite honest. I don't think they mapped that one out as well as it could have been, but for the actual thrashing, it was a stunt person.
Oh.
So,
but what about when he finally got her to stop resisting and her head went underwater? Like, you have to hold your breath for a long time.
Yeah. That's what I think is so cool about TV making, is they subbed in a stunt double there that you would have never known it, because you're so caught up in the action, and it's such a short amount of time that this drowning is going on. But they got a stunt double in there.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were Lisa Bonet, I wouldn't have signed up for that. that would have been my contract.
Yeah. Well, they brought in a stunt double, so she didn't have to actually be in the tub the whole time. But it's just amazing how, that little 10-second snippet probably took hours upon hours to shoot.
Yeah, no kidding.
So what you're seeing in the final product is just so much film that's cut down into a little bit. So check out that interview on HollywoodReporter.com for more on that story. I thought that was really cool.
You always find the best articles.
Yeah, there's really good people out there, really good recappers of this show. Just another one to shout out, Brian Tallarico for Vulture. He writes really good recaps as well, and is just very much into this show. We have some super fans out there, so we love the content that the people are putting out. So be sure to follow us on Twitter, each of our personal pages, but then also on iTunes and YouTube as well. Subscribe to us, give us a thumbs up, a like, and shoot us a comment down there, and we'll feature everything that you guys say, good, bad, or amazing, every week. So on to the next topic. Waller gets killed too. So we had two semi-major new characters get killed, and we see the brutality of Dimitri, who doesn't put up with double-crossers. What'd you think of Waller dying?
I don't know why I chuckled.
See, it's just
You guys are just chuckling at weird times tonight.
I can't handle when people get killed. I knew it was coming.
You did?
Really?
The second they exposed him being a double crosser, I said, "Oh no! Anybody that deals with like mafias and gangs, that's the one thing you don't do is double cross the boss. You don't double cross the boss."
And I feel like the boss always like knows, so
You're
they're
from
always
Boston,
like
you know
one
what's
up it.
up.
Yeah. You know what I mean though. Like I feel like what is the boss's name? Dimitri. I feel like he knows what's going on with like. I don't know. And I didn't think that he was going to get killed, but once he did, it really made sense. Like, it made sense to me. But didn't you think when they were going through the bloody house, whatever, I thought we were going to see Avi. I didn't think that we were going to see the lawyer.
Waller.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to see Avi at some point this episode, and we did not. So Avi's whereabouts are unknown. And, Ray fulfilled his end of the bargain, bringing... the Hollywood star there to
I would have been pissed.
to Dimitri's party, and he's not even there. Butch Kramer was the name of the Hollywood star, and it's sort of like a Gerard Butler type.
I didn't like the way Dimitri said his name. Bring me Butch Kramer. It was just like the way he said it was so creepy.
Like I can't tell if he's Russian or American. It seems like there's no Russian accent.
He doesn't have an accent. Well,
Yeah.
he said he grew up in New York. Or was as a child he was in New York or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, first of all, didn't you feel bad for that actor? I'm like, Ray, are you gonna step in or something? Right? Are you gonna save your homeboy? Like, I don't know.
But what could he do? I mean, they were outnumbered.
They were seriously outnumbered.
They were, but don't you? And it was so irrational. Like, oh, he played a character that beat up Russians. Let's beat him up. Like. Whatever.
That is true. It seemed it went on too long, but I think that means that we were invested in the situation, wanting it to end as soon as possible. Like, come on, it's not really fair. But the actor, I don't want to say the actor. I'm sorry. Let me call the character his name. Butch Kramer. I thought Butch could have been like, you know what? No, you're probably tougher than me. I got it. Just you could have played it off.
No, actors and their egos.
He seems to live on the edge though.
Yeah.
Because didn't he have some kind of scandal, some sex addiction or something like? He doesn't know how to say no.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
He has an addictive personality. Like, if you challenge somebody like that, they can't say no.
That's true. That's a great
interesting.
point. Yeah, I agree. But Ray was trying to get it done. He goes, all right, that's enough. But there's only so much Ray can do. And eventually Dimitri does stop his bodyguard from beating up on Butch, only to take him upstairs and show him that Waller is now going to die and murders him right in front of him. Man, that's brutal to watch. And I felt for Waller too. I always kind of feel for these characters that I really don't care about. But when you're sitting there and you know that you're about to die, I can't imagine a worse feeling than sitting there like that.
And he'd already been beat up and he was suffering already.
Yeah, his intestines were out all over the place.
But at that point, I mean, if that were me, I would just tell him to shoot me because I was already in pain.
Yeah.
End it now.
You're ready to be done.
Yeah. That's just me, though.
Oh, my God. I don't even want to think about it.
Gruesome. Okay, next topic.
I do have a question about that. Do you guys think... Okay, so Waller had this art collection of his own that he was, moving, selling, acquiring. Do you think that Dimitri has control of that now and has more money? I mean, do you think it was like financial?
Well, they're missing a lot of art right now, right? Because Ray's crew stole all that art and he's trying to use it as a bargaining chip. Now that Sonia is completely gone... We learned during this episode that she connected to another flight, and they don't know where she is anymore. So the pilots, dropped her off, but they didn't see where the other plane was taking her. Mm-hmm. So I think the art now that you're talking about is, I'm sure Dimitri would like to control it. Yeah. But that's going to be a little bargaining chip that I think Ray has.
Well, his situation with the art was that the art that was in the truck, he was selling fake versions of that to other people. Right. And Ray was taking inventory of the art that they did have, which was supposedly sold, like he read his, invoices, receipts or whatever, realizing that we still have this art. Because remember, didn't they do that to someone earlier in the season? They gave someone a fake piece of art and Sonia made Ray deliver it or maybe not Ray. She made someone deliver it.
I don't remember that.
And it was like a fake version of the real.
It's a really smart hustle.
Yeah,
and that's what they.
especially
I guess
using
that is their hustle.
using that art gallery as a front for getting out your forgeries. But it's exactly as McCall said. Like the double crossers don't survive in this show. Like, you're either family and you're staying within the bounds of your organization, or if you step out, you're gone. So Waller bites the dust this episode.
Bye.
And he's gone. Let's move on to a lighter topic, which is Terry and the cop. Loved seeing them out, moving real quick though. I mean, we didn't get to see a date. I was a little bit disappointed we didn't get to see a date
I
between
don't
them.
think they do dates.
It's 2016. Who dates anymore?
I mean, come on.
I'm just kidding.
I go out on dates. I go out on dates. I'm sure OG does. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, but I think Terry's just like living the moment. Terry's like, I could be dead tomorrow.
Yeah.
You gotta just do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Well, now they're gonna go on a date. She's gonna be his date to one of Hector's events or something.
Yeah, pre-parties for the show, and I like that they were in bed together and that Terry's being so genuine and so nice. But it looked like she was a little turned off by his story. Like she didn't quite know how to handle it, and it made me think maybe this is too genuine, too soon, too. He said the word love to her, and this is probably the first time they've slept together. You really want to start talking about love immediately after the first time you've been with someone?
And that's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
You've got a man who has a situation going on with his hand, this disability,
The
Parkinson's, and. Not to say that makes him unlovable, but it's just a lot to take in that very moment. Then he's talking about love, and it's just like, dude, let's just, take a beat.
He dropped a couple bombs on her. And for her to be a cop and him be like, well, I spent, some time in jail, I got shot, I would have been like, whoa.
Yeah.
Hold up. But
Time out.
I did think the same. I thought she was kind of turned off by that, but when
Yeah.
we saw her again later in the episode, I was surprised, and she seemed like excited, genuinely excited and like ready to go. So maybe she spent just a day like digesting that and rethinking it, and then ended up positive.
Yeah, I think Terry opened up to her and was vulnerable to her, and I agree with you. It's just too soon to start admitting all the stuff that you've been through at the first time that you've been together. That stuff can come out in bits as you date more and more, if he's a smart dater. But Terry doesn't care. I mean, he's just who he is. He's so big-hearted and open and wears his emotions on his sleeve that he'll open up to someone like that right away. And we saw that with Frances too. That's why he fell for her. He was able to open up to her quickly. She's a nurse with a caring spirit, and so he did kind of the same thing. But I think what you said, Olivia, was right in that she may have realized, this guy's just being very, very sweet. Like, I don't see the wrong in that. And you know what? I've got some issues of my own that I'm not revealing right now. But yeah, I'll go. He asked me to go to a ball, and I'll go with him. So I'm rooting for them.
I just can't wait to see the whole outfit and their little.
Yeah.
I know. I want to see what they look
I
like.
hope they
It's
take
probably
pictures,
funny.
little prom pics.
But it's not going to end well, okay? I mean, they're going to show up. It's going to be a big party. Everyone's going to look like they're happy and things are going well. And it's just something bad's going to happen in the middle of all that.
I have a prediction.
Wait.
Remind me at the end. 'Cause
Okay.
now I'm like, ooh.
Okay, we got one more topic before predictions, and then we'll get to your burning desire.
I know,
for
now I'm
what
excited
is-
to hear
My
it.
predictions always come up in the middle of the show.
Yep. Well, save it until the last topic. So let's do one more topic before we move into the predictions, which is Abby. I really liked the scene between Abby and Mickey. Mick feels responsible for everything that's happened now. I mean, his world is destroyed with, him losing Sylvie, and now he's broken and doesn't really have a purpose and is hurt. And, he says to her that, I'm sorry for everything, and you're the best thing to ever happen to this family. What do you guys think of that scene?
That was the only time I really wanted to cry throughout the whole episode.
Yeah.
Because every time Mick gets emotional, I get emotional.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have a whole comment about like what I thought about it. I enjoyed seeing him being so vulnerable and just so open.
Yeah.
He's like that old man. Like when you see him sad, it's like you just want to pinch their cheeks.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing about that scene is Abby tells Mickey about the first time she slept with his son. And normally you would react to that and be like, oh, that's a little bit awkward. Why are you telling your father-in-law that story? But it was such a touching story. And it's why we led off with Layla, with the top of the show, the song for tonight's episode. But, as the piano chords kicked in, Ray realized life would probably never, ever be better. And it was sweet but haunting in a way.
I thought it was so weird. First, I thought when she was like, and he said to me, I thought it was going to be like, I love you. But it's like, slit my throat. And I was like,
how romantic.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like, is that how you're supposed to... Yeah, I mean...
I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
Like, he's the one.
Yes. That's when I knew. It's like, no.
I wonder if she called her girlfriends after that and was like, and girl, he turned on this song.
Yeah, how do you sit around at girls' night or like book club and be like, you won't believe what he said to me?
Oh my God, girl. He told me he was I was like, ew. It was so weird. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're just a bizarre family couple, so to each his own, I guess. I don't know.
And a lot of girls like the crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I'm sure you've dated a bad boy before. Some girls like a guy with a little edge, with a little crazy in him. That probably turned her on.
Sure, and pillow talking about just slicing my throat really puts... I mean, listen.
That slides the panties off.
You put that pillow talk.
So, I mean, you could say certain things during pillow talk that you could not say otherwise. So that's the only reason I think I'm giving this a pass, because it is certainly possible. You say some stupid things and it's just no big deal because you're both just feeling amazing in that moment. So, all right. Well, enough about pillow talk. We are running out of time, so we need to move into our final segment of the show. And McCall, we're going to lead off with you after we hit the drop, but it's predictions time, everybody. Let's go.
And now, your Afterbuzz TV predictions.
2 episodes left. 2 episodes left. No. That's crazy to me. But we have had some storylines tie up already. Waller and Kavitsky are gone. We've had Marisol that is now gone. But we have, a couple loose ends to tie up and project us into next season. McCall, let's hit it with your burning prediction that you had from a couple minutes ago.
All right, understand. Hector will be done by the end of the season.
What do you mean done?
The story of Hector. He's going to end up in jail. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why. The woman, the cop that Terry is now dating, she's going to get a tip about Marisol being missing. It's going to get linked back to Hector.
Wow.
And she's sleeping with his trainer.
Yep. Oh man, that's huge. I always love your predictions and I like the Marisol prediction when you predicted she would jump off like the convention hall.
I was just waiting on it.
That was great.
But I told you, she had to go. Hector's going too. And I think he's going to go down with this cop that Terry's sleeping with.
Okay.
This will get her the promotion that she's been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the inside track.
And Terry knows, that
That's right.
that he was there and saw her drown. And so when Terry finds out that, in fact, Marisol was moved to Lake Hollywood, I'm sure the police officer is going to find out, and that's going to be the news, Hey, we found Marisol in Lake Hollywood. And that's when it's going to dawn on Terry that it was not an accidental or not even an accidental, purposeful suicide, but in fact it was something much more notorious. And will that, religious desire, the wanting to be clean and have a clear conscience just play on Terry so much that he's going to tell the cop the truth? And that would lead to Hector going down, and now he's not Team Campos anymore. McCall, you got me going on that one. That was a good one.
It's funny? Watch. It may not even happen.
Yeah.
But that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
This is just us fan fictionizing over here. But all right, Olivia.
That's interesting you say that because I thought, especially in this episode, that this cop is going to come in handy somehow. Like, she's in this whole entire mix in the situation for a reason. So whether it's that or whether it's to help them with something, I don't know. But since it is a new relationship, I don't see her being to their benefit.
She's not... Here's the thing about the cop. no disrespect to her, she seems like a very lovely woman, but she's still on like patrol. She's not one of the undercover cop level, CIA, DEA level, okay? Those are the big dogs that can help you. She's still on patrol, so she's trying to work her way up.
Okay.
So this right here, that'll get you in a suit and out of your little uniform.
Yeah, so instead of she being to the Donovans' benefit, yeah, you know what I'm saying. They're going to be a benefit to her and to her career, whatever. Okay, so yeah, I see that prediction. I had another that I wanted to, I don't really see where this whole entire Russian situation is going. I have no idea how Ray is going to get himself out of this one.
I think it's just going to be ongoing.
I mean, I think it will carry into next season. Fair to say.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think so. I think so, but we can't leave this season without the Donovans being safe. Reasonably safe for whatever's coming next. Maybe they have a weak truce between the two parties, between the Russians and the Donovans. So we'll see. But my prediction is I think Bridget, we're going to see a lot of Bridget in the next 2 episodes. And I think ultimately, she's going to be, I think she's going to move out again. I just don't think she's feeling like anything's changing. In fact, things are maybe even getting more dangerous than they were before. Yeah. I think right now she's staying at home and being ordered around by her mom again, and Ray's coming home, and just the danger levels amped up. There's cars parked outside of their house all the time.
Yeah.
Ray may not want to let her leave because she's at even more of a risk later. Not being around Ray or protected in that house, but I just don't see her wanting to stay after all of these events anymore.
I could see that too. And I also think because they're not telling her what's going on. So she's feeling like, well, you guys are trying to baby me. You're not even including me in the conversation.
Yeah.
I think she'll take that attitude. I could see that happening.
Yeah. What do you think, Olivia?
I think I could see that happening too, but knowing that they're in so much danger, for her to just seriously take off and move out on her own, it's like, you're really going to do that right now? Like, yeah. But, she hasn't been so rational in the past, so it's a possibility. We'll see.
I hope we see more of Karis Dorsey. We haven't seen a lot of her this season. Maybe she pissed off the writers or something like that. No, I'm kidding. Right. But we love her, and hopefully she could play some guitar. I mean, we saw her with the painting there above her bed this episode, so maybe a little bit of a clue that we'll see more for her for the next 2 episodes. Anything else that we didn't cover tonight that you guys wanted to talk about?
Shout out to Kettle One Vodka with all those product placements and that shrimp cocktail.
Yeah. That looked really good.
That looks so good. I'm going to Ralph's right now.
All right. Olivia, anything else?
No.
Okay.
I think that's it.
That's it. That's all for this week, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the Afterbuzz TV After Show for Ray Donovan. We'll be back next week, 10 p.m. Pacific on Monday nights. Until then, we have been Olivia Gabaree.
I messed this up last week. I'll do it again. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @thereal_O_G.
And McCall Hall.
Yo, stalk me, hit me up on social media when sports and pop culture collide at McCall Hall.
And I'm Frank Maiorana. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Let's Go Frank M. Thank y'all for listening. We'll be back next week. Have a happy Labor Day. Go out, be blessed. We'll see you back soon.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterbuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.